If you're new to the channel, I'm Gary Martin from Huddersfield Golf Club, and today we're going to be discussing whether launch monitors make a better golf lesson. So today I'm joined by one of my best friends and PGA professionals, Scott McGovern.
Hi.
Where are you based, Scott?
I'm full-time teaching professional at Oulton Hall Academy in Leeds.
The reason I've asked him to say that is because I've been struggling to pronounce it.
Oulton? Oulton or Oulton?
Oulton Hall?
Oulton, you keep saying Oulton. Oulton.
Oulton Hall.
O-U-L-T-O-N.
Oulton Hall.
That's pretty good.
We got it.
We got it, ish.
I don't know if you're from sort of Leeds and that kind of area, but it's definitely one you should go and check out. Absolutely fantastic academy, and there's some good lads work there as well.
Yes, there is. I think there's 4 of us that coach there full-time. And yeah, definitely a good bunch of lads.
So seeing as we're on the subject with launch monitors, are you guys all using them?
We all use Trackmans. We all have our own Trackman, and they are used in every lesson.
Wow.
Really.
So for those who are watching and might not have used a launch monitor before, what is a launch monitor?
From a coaching perspective, a launch monitor is a tool. It gives accurate data on everything you could possibly hope to imagine about somebody's golf swing, about the golf shot they've just hit. It can tell you why they've hit a bad shot, and it will also tell you where they need to be to hit a particular shot, whether they are trying to draw or a fade, for instance. But yeah, it's just a good piece of equipment for gaining accurate information. And as a golf coach, accurate information is gold.
So we're going to get straight to the point, being Yorkshiremen. We're going to get to nitty gritty. Does a launch monitor improve a golf lesson?
If I was answering yes or no, I would probably say no.
I weren't expecting that.
Well,
You've spent 20 grand on one, haven't you?
It doesn't necessarily equal a better golf lesson. Just because I've got a Trackman or a PGA professional has a Trackman, it doesn't necessarily
Can I just
mean...
stop you there?
Go
If
on.
there's anybody from Trackman listening, they might be sweating a little bit a minute.
Yeah, my subscription fees might be going up after this.
Yeah.
No. Just let me finish. You're going to get me into trouble here.
Go on then.
No. Just because I've got a Trackman or just because a PGA professional has got a Trackman does not necessarily mean it's going to be a better golf lesson. But it is a great tool to give you accurate information, but it's what you do with that information that's important. And if you can get information about a golfer that's 100% accurate, and you can show them that data, and you can tell them why they're hitting their bad shots, that can only be a good thing. It's how you interpret the data and what you do with it.
I suppose, yeah, that's a really good answer, actually. Yeah, so reinforcing what you're teaching in a lesson and backing it up with the data.
Oh, definitely. I think, and giving confidence to the golfer that's in front of you. Because without a Trackman, you would just have to go on the PGA professional's word that, yes, you're doing it. If you've got the data there, or a Trackman or other launch monitors, you can show them exactly how things are progressing. And whether that be a swing change or any sort of change, people don't tend to like changing the swings or changing the grips. So if you can show them that what you're doing is improving them, obviously that's going to help the decision making, it's going to help build confidence in what they're doing, and that can only be a good thing again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make this a conversation about me, but I agree with what you're saying there, because I've had a golf lesson, and obviously being a golf pro, I was asked to change and strengthen my grip a little bit, and yeah, Scott's my coach, by the way, and it felt dead uncomfortable, and anybody that's tried to do a grip change will agree it's a dead uncomfortable thing to do. And if it weren't for them numbers that Scott was showing me, as much as I trust him, I still might have been a bit sceptical in what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and if you don't buy into or agree with what somebody's telling you, the learning process is really going to be hindered. Like with you, we tweaked your grip a little bit, which if we didn't have a launch monitor there or something to back up what we were doing or the decision that we were making, you may not have bought into the idea. You may have been a bit apprehensive about doing a change, but at least we could show you why we were doing what we were doing and how it was relating to improving your golf game.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think if I try and relate that to somebody who might be a newer golfer, golf's not an easy game to start, and you might not see much improvement in the actual ball flight, but then...
Yes, you can track the information that Trackman is giving you. You can, let's say, outline where you would like to be and where you are at the moment. You may not see an initial change straight away, but when you start obviously changing somebody's swing, or whether that be setting up or how they hold the club, you can show them how their numbers are relating to where they were before. You can see and track
progression.
Yeah, which is a big thing in golf.
So I think that can only be a good thing for sort of retaining newer golfers, and them people who's had a couple of lessons and just think this is not a game for me. It could be a way of them sort of seeing progression more, because it don't always, swing changes don't always result in instant ball flights, do they? Better ball flights.
No, and I think that's where people can get disheartened, where they are trying something new, or they have been told to do something new, and they don't see improvement within their ball flight, within their scores. But if they're, let's say, a particular number that you guys we are working on is improving, and they're going on the right path, at least that gives them that little bit of confidence. You know what, I am on the right path, I just need to stick with it.
So we've talked about what a Trackman is, and we've touched on some of the positives that a launch monitor can be used for in a lesson. In your experience, is there any negatives?
Yes, there's definitely negatives. I do think the positives outweigh the negatives, though. I'll just put that in there straight away. But Trackman and other launch monitors do give you a wealth of information, and most of the information is related in numbers. So golfers and coaches alike can get lost within numbers and trying to hit numbers and making sure your path is in the right threshold, your swing play, everything's got to be right. It all relates to numbers, and people can just get lost in the numbers, and it can become quite confusing.
I think that's a great answer. I mean, I use a flight scope, which, the numbers, there's nowhere near as many numbers as a Trackman. But however, I have sort of indoor lessons where it might be the first time a client's used the launch monitor, and straight away they want to know about the numbers. What's my path, and what's my backspin, and we might be doing a grip change.
Yes, I think I'm going to put you on the spot here and say, I think a lot of golfers now are getting a lot more clued up in terms of their information that they know.
That's a very good point.
From YouTube.
Yes.
So there's lots of videos out there for club path and swing playing and wrist angles, and because they've seen a YouTuber talk about X, Y, and Z, they'd like to know what theirs is, because they're trying to relate it back to the video that they've just watched. So definitely, as a coach, trying to stay on topic and try and keep it as simple as possible, really, because again, the simpler we can keep it, the easier it is to digest and learn. It's very easy to make it very complicated.
So me and Scott there have just touched on a really good conversation off camera, and we're just talking about our progression within golf, and how, if we'd have had this technology around when we were growing up, how it could have helped us. Yeah,
I think, again, technology within golf takes out a lot of the guesswork, and I think when people are progressing in golf, it's great, but at some point we all hit that wall, we all stop improving, we all plateau, and then from there we start, I think we can all be saying we're guilty of this, me definitely, we start looking for the answer.
Searching for the answer, yeah.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is you're trying something different week in, week out, and you're not seeing results.
It can actually make you go backwards, can't it, in some cases?
Definitely, because you're out there just trying lots of different things, and again, trying to learn something different or trying to get better, a lot of it is about persistence and keeping on topic of what you're actually trying to do.
And that's where we said that with the technology, that persistence will be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it does take out all the guesswork in terms of the data you're given. You know where you are, you know where you need to be, and again, if you know that information, it is good for you because you know what path you need to be on, so you're not just jumping around from path to path. You're on. I think know where you are.
Kind of what we were saying. Whereas if you hit that plateau, you're having a golf lesson. Having that reinforcement of the technology to reinforce what the coach is doing, we feel that would have certainly helped us persist with what we've been taught for longer to get through that brick wall.
Definitely, because we've all, again, going from personal experience, jumped down a rabbit hole of something that didn't help us and maybe set us back a couple of steps. So again, it's all about just gathering good data and good information and using that and sticking with it. And don't be disheartened by, because everyone says this, I can do it on the driving range, but I can't do it on the golf course.
Yeah, because that's the first step to improvement, isn't it?
It's the hardest step. I would say learning what you're trying to do in a driving range setting is the easy bit. Taking that then to the golf course is definitely the most difficult bit, because you have so many outside influences on the golf course, like weather, like cold, what sort of lie you've got. I mean, did you make 7 on the last hole? Are you in a bad frame of mind? You don't have that on the driving range. So taking a new skill to the golf course is is the difficult part. I think a lot of it is just persistence.
I think if you could take one thing from our development, you know, if you are that golfer that feels like you can get it on the driving range but you can't take it to the course, believe us, you know, you've made that first step. You know, that is the first step, isn't it?
Definitely. Anything after that is just, again, it's persistence and confidence in what you're doing. You've just got to stick with it.
So I think in conclusion, we both agree that sort of technology and launch monitors within golf do help with coaching.
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily mean any technology. It doesn't mean you're going to be better at golf. All these technologies are just tools available to hopefully help you progress maybe a little bit faster and help in decision making. Again, there's a lot of good golf coaches out there that don't have access to these tools. It does not mean that they are bad golf coaches.
That's completely right. This is just actually a tool, so it doesn't make the coach better. It just probably reinforces what the coach is doing, doesn't it? You know, like, so you've got more trust in your coach.
Yes, I think if you can trust in what you're doing and you have confidence in what's being said to you, it can only be a good thing.
If you've enjoyed that discussion, guys, please do subscribe, like, and give us a comment. You know, are you having lessons with technology and launch monitors? And how has technology and lessons helped you? You know, there's going to be people reading these comments, so all the feedback we can get is really welcome.
I'd be interested to see if people have had lessons on, again, any of these launch monitors, and do you have any, let's say, bad experiences? I mean, it'd be nice to know. Obviously, I'm coming from a perspective of using these, so what do you guys think?
I think to finally summarize, I think the feedback in these comments is going to be useful to players, coaches. It's going to be useful to us all. So, you know, give us your feedback, and we'll be in comments, won't we?
Yes.
We'll be in comments, reading them and replying. And if you've enjoyed that, we'll see you in a couple of days.